Casey, why don't you start and tell us a little bit about Shipageddon? What is Shipageddon?
Well, first I want to clarify what it isn't. We're not here to talk about the Evergreen ship stuck in the Suez Canal, although that's a bad problem. That's not truly Shipageddon. Shipageddon is defined as an imbalance between parcel supply and parcel demand. So the final mile shipping that gets to people's homes here in the United States can periodically, just like any business, fall into periods of supply and demand imbalance. And when the supply gets particularly low compared to the demand, for a number of years now, we've talked about this potential outcome of a Shipageddon, where the demand is too high and parcels go unshipped. Usually it's talked about in the context of the holiday season, where large numbers of people, increasingly year after year, are having their Christmas shipped to them or shipped to their family members. As a result, you have some surges during the year of what we all call in the industry peak. During that peak period from late November into early and middle December, you have extremely large parcel volumes every year. And those parcel volumes are crucial that they arrive on time, because without them arriving on time, the grandkids don't get Christmas or whatever other horrible outcome might occur. So as we watched that over the last decade or so, we found that this Shipageddon event is a narrowly averted disaster on the best of times. And as we reached into the COVID-19 period this last year, and we watched a high water mark of parcel volume start to happen as early as April, we knew that the peak period in 2020 had the highest likelihood we'd ever seen of a true Shipageddon. Parcels left on the dock, parcels that don't go to the correct destination in time for Christmas. In fact, it's kind of, in my mind, if I were to break it down, I'd say Shipageddon is caused by a combination of secular trends, unusual high tide activities, and then some particular bad things that might happen. So the secular trends, of course, being the continued growth of e-commerce as a method of consumption here in the domestic US. High tide activity would be the COVID-19, which moved all of those things forward in time, 4 or even 5 years, depending on which economist you're looking at. They're saying that the e-commerce consumption rate went forward 4 or 5 years during COVID-19. And so therefore the necessary supply to meet that demand needed to be 4 or 5 years in the future on capital investment strategies, on technology, et cetera. So you had that unusual high tide, and then some strange action had to have occurred. And that's what happened at Shipageddon this last year. The strange action that occurred, in my opinion, and there were a number of different things that happened, but probably the biggest thing that created a Shipageddon-like activity was the vaccine launch. Having vaccines distributed during peak, while you already had a high watermark caused by a forward movement of consumption in a time of year where we're already seasonally impacted and right up against the margin of error on small parcel. All of those things combined to create Shipageddon at this last peak. There were a number of prognostications I was sharing with Jim and Jeremy before you got on this call, Ben, and those prognostications said that there might be as many as 7 million parcels a day during peak that didn't have a home. The reality, from what I can tell, is that it was somewhere between 9.5 and 14 million parcels that may not have had a home, but due to unusual efforts by the U.S. Postal Service, the regional carriers, and also by UPS and FedEx, I believe almost all of those parcels got a home. 95, maybe 96% of those parcels made it to where they were supposed to go on time. We could call that a Shipageddon averted, but from where I was sitting, it sure looked like Shipageddon in my warehouses.
Fantastic, Casey. Thanks for that insightful explanation.